Well, let's talk now to Caroline Frost, entertainment correspondent, Huffington Post UK. Worth pointing out, they're not opposite one another, are they? Exactly,
No.
Time-wise.
No, that's happened in the past, and to each party's respective embarrassments at different times, we've had some very polar ratings schedules. So this time they're fighting shy of that. We've got Strictly a little bit earlier in the evening, and then the X Factor final, part 1. Part 2, the real final, we find out who is going to be the next massive star in the UK tomorrow evening.
Tomorrow evening, and then of course the Strictly final is the week after,
yes.
isn't it? I mean, it is commercially for ITV very important to have got this right, isn't it? How would you assess this season, as it were?
Ooh, well, ratings are very, very low in comparison with Strictly. What's happened is that 2010 were in fact the highest ratings for both shows, but Strictly have maintained that into 2013, whereas X Factor has very much gone off the boil. They'll be throwing all of their eggs into tonight's basket. Over this weekend, we've got guests like Gary Barlow, Elton John, Katy Perry, and of course the small band One Direction.
So the live performance element of it, outside of the contest itself, they're bigging up that part of it. This is what you get as part of the package.
Yeah, I think so. But what it does, of course, is it only illuminates the difference between real stars and these people that they're sort of trying to project as the stars of the future, and sometimes that chasm can be a bit embarrassing.
They get to sing together as well, don't they, which is always fun.
Yes, we've got Nicole Scherzinger will be taking to the stage as well as judging. I'm not sure about that. That seems a bit like the referee going on the pitch. But anyway, she's turning up to sing with Sam Bailey, who is the out-and-out favourite. I mean, we saw that most spectacularly with Susan Boyle, who, of course, never did actually win Britain's Got Talent. And, of course, that's the other thing, is that increasingly viewers know that to win isn't necessarily the answer anymore. One Direction didn't win X Factor 3 years ago. Matt Cardle did. And now look at One Direction now. It's almost like the curse of victory.
So you talked about the X Factor as opposed to Strictly, and the Strictly has maintained and done really well on viewing figures this year. Why do you think that is? Is it they changed the programme slightly? What is it?
I think it's that it's two very different shows. I mean, with X Factor, you've got a bunch of, at the moment, nobodies clamouring for a place in the spotlight, and in Strictly, you've got to play an arena of somebodies striving to show how normal they are taking on a new training exercise, and they're all kind of meeting somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
But with Strictly, you've got all those different fan bases. You've got soap stars, singers,
so it brings in loads
news
of people,
presenters, all sorts of different contingencies, all going for their one special person. So even if you've not heard of 9 of them, if you've got a special inkling for one person, you're going to tune in. Very, very clever. Whereas X Factor, if you can turn on sort of parts 1 to 3 and decide, there's just nobody here I really care about. So that, as you say, that investment in that prison officer is everything.
And I suppose the thing is, if you like somebody at the beginning, you know, out of the 15, you've invested some weeks already, so then you carried along with it.
This is it. I mean, we all have that primal, we all have those buttons where we're thinking, come on, all right, now I'm watching, I might as well find out who's going to win. I mean, we don't have Colosseums anymore, Matadors are hard to get, so this is as near as
the
we're
interesting
getting.
thing is that the papers, you know, they're already calling it, aren't they, the papers, and what do they base that on?
That's just on cumulative voting over the series, point scoring, and plus that general, as we say, almost X Factor vibe. But we know this could be wrong. Susan Boyle didn't win. Joey Essex did not win in The Jungle. There'd be no point in having it if it was a fait accompli. So,
and in both shows, it is the public who are entirely making that decision. The judges are there to cast their opinions, and then...
This is it. I mean, the judges are there perhaps to sway on the technical stuff. I mean, I think that's more authentic in the Strictly sense. I'm not quite sure what somebody like Louis Walsh versus Nicole Scherzinger, it can't be a consistent view. It must be very subjective anyway if you like a certain style of singing. Or if you're somebody like Simon Cowell who's thinking, ka-ching, ka-ching. But absolutely, and then it comes down to us, people power.
OK. It's been very interesting talking to you. Thank you very much.
You.
Good luck to everybody taking part over the weekend. Thank you.